I'm Andrew.
And I'm Alisa.
And you're watching
Designing Workflows. Marker.
Hi everybody, I'm Andrew. I'm a customer success manager here at Drip. I get to work with customers every single day, helping them bring e-commerce strategies to life in Drip.
Awesome. And I'm Alisa. I'm a product manager here at Drip. It's my role to talk to all of you lovely customers and work with our teams internally to make sure that we build the best product for you.
Alisa, what are we talking about today?
Today, we are talking about the Welcome Series workflow.
Right on.
Which is one of the most important workflows that you can build. Okay. It's a way that you just introduce your brand to your people.
Right on. You know, the Welcome Series is one of the first things that I talk to customers about.
Okay.
Because it's such an important touch point in the life cycle with the customer,
totally.
Right? It's your chance to really take the opportunity to introduce yourself and your brand and what you're all about, to make sure that they understand what they're getting into and building a relationship with you, and then what they can expect as a customer moving forward.
Totally. It's a point where the customer is really interested in your company. They subscribe to you. They want to learn more. It's your opportunity to really introduce yourself, make yourself known, and treat it like a first date. You're getting to know them. You want to impress them. You want them to come back and form a relationship.
Oh, I like that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like you're taking the long-term approach on this.
Yeah, you want a long-term relationship with
This isn't
them.
like a speed dating thing.
This is not speed dating. So at this point, customers are kind of looking at a lot of different companies, a lot of different websites. And so it's a really good opportunity for you to voice who you are, why you're great, talk about your unique value proposition, so that people are interested, want to learn more, and eventually become your customers.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. You know, and it makes a lot of sense because when we look at stats in Drip, we see that a Welcome Series performs really well. Right?
I bet.
Yeah, so open rates are often 4 times higher with a Welcome Series email rather than just like a regular email blast. And click-through rates are 5 times higher.
Wow.
Yeah, and you'll love this. You'll love this. And you'll love this.
And you'll love this.
Revenue is upwards of 300% higher on a Welcome Series email than a regular email that you would send through Drip.
300%?
Yeah, exactly. So
wow.
That's why it's so important that you nail this. So Alisa, what makes a great welcome strategy?
So glad you asked, Andrew. The first thing you want to do in your welcome strategy is really define your brand. Tell people about your values as a company, use your company's voice, use your branding, and just open yourself up to people. It's just like a first date. You want people to get to know you. You want them to fall in love with you. So it's pretty straightforward there.
Love that. Love that. Okay, cool. You know, when I'm talking with customers, I often also talk about focusing on products and categories that are going to be a good first purchase for them as well, right? If they haven't made a purchase, then you would want to make sure that the items that you're talking about are the right ones, right? Probably not like your highest end, biggest ticket items, but something that would give them a great experience as they just get started with you.
Right on.
Yeah. What else on your side?
So, I love a good discount, right?
Absolutely. We all do. Come on.
We all love good discounts. I'd recommend just be really strategic with your incentives in your Welcome Series.
Okay.
We all know that discounts push product. They work really well, but you want to be cautious with them because if you overuse them, people may expect that you're always going to give discounts. So they may not purchase anything at full price because they're waiting for that discount to come. So be strategic with it. Maybe try out some discounts, see how effective they are, and just monitor it. Make sure not to do too much, but sprinkle in a little bit because they do work really well.
Got it. I bet you have some strong feelings about like when in the Welcome Series you would offer those discounts too.
Of course I do.
Cool.
Yeah.
Get to that later?
Let's get to that later.
Cool. Sounds good. Another thing that I like to talk about with customers with the Welcome Series is setting positive expectations, right? We also address this in our Abandoned Cart series a little bit, but really getting ahead of some of the barriers to purchase that a new customer might have, right? So somebody who hasn't purchased, like your return policy, right? Like they might be kind of unclear and they might not exactly want to purchase if they don't know the return policy. And then support. That's really important to know what kind of support they can expect to receive as part of your brand. And really what you're trying to do there is bringing down barriers and shortening that willingness to purchase curve, right?
Yeah, and that's really cool to include information on return policies and just your support policies and all that kind of stuff. And in addition to that, we totally recommend that you have social proof in your emails.
Okay.
Just having a static quote from a customer saying how awesome one of your products is can go a long way. Because we do know that 90% of consumers do look for product reviews when they're shopping online.
Wow, I know I do.
Oh yeah,
it makes
I do
a big
too.
difference. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love that you bring up different voices in the Welcome series.
Right.
A voice that I often bring up to customers as we're talking about strategy with these welcomes is actually bringing in the voice of your team. So it could be you as the marketer, could be the CMO, could be the CEO. And
Totally,
right, you can give a great welcome, a personal welcome about why they started the company or why they're so passionate about the brand. And that's going to translate and get your customers excited about the brand too.
That totally makes sense.
Yeah.
Seeing a letter from the CEO in your first email, that would be amazing.
Totally.
Makes you feel like they know you, they want to get to know you, they want to support you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So Andrew, we talked a little bit about the strategy, but now let's dive into what we really recommend that our customers build when they're inside of Drip.
Cool.
Sound
Right
good?
on. Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
So we could take all of that stuff we just talked about and cram it into one email. But data shows that actually a series of 3 emails generate 90% more revenue than just one email.
Wow.
Right. And
Okay.
if you try to cram all that into one email, it's just going to be long and no one's
Yeah.
going to read it, right?
And it makes sense. You're building a relationship. It's
Yeah.
not just a one and done thing.
Exactly. And we're called Drip, for Pete's sake.
Drip.
Right?
Drip,
Exactly. We're
drip,
trying to drip, right? So let's talk a little bit about the content and how we would take those concepts and actually structure them into a workflow series.
Absolutely.
Cool.
So in that first email that our customers send, we want to make sure that first we thank them for subscribing and for wanting to learn more about the company. They don't have to do that. So you want to thank them for joining your community. You want to welcome them in. In that first email, you also want to define your unique value proposition. So tell them why your company is a great company. Talk about your brand a bit. Use your company voice. Let them get to know you a little bit. Just a little bit of kind of defining who you are can go a really long way. Then one more thing that you want to include in this first email is just a little note on what to expect, both from the company and from being on the email
Oh, that makes
marketing
sense.
list.
Yeah, sure.
So you may want to have a note from the founder or the CEO of a company, which you talked about earlier, just talking about who the company is. And then you may want to inform people that they could expect maybe an email once a week if they continue to stay on the list.
I like that because that actually will help with email engagement over time. And right, if people get emails that they don't expect to get, then they're more likely to unsubscribe or
Absolutely.
even worse, mark your email as spam, and you definitely don't want that to happen.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. Right on. So the second email.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
Let's talk about
Yeah,
it.
this one could be more about your ethos as a company, your brand. So a few things that you could hit there would be, what are your products and what makes them unique specifically? So in the first email, we talked about your brand and what makes your brand and company unique, but this one could be about your products, right? They might be, way more quality or,
Eco-friendly or
eco-friendly.
something.
Yeah, things like that. So you want to highlight those things.
Right.
This is also the email where you could throw in a specific review, like you
Okay.
talked about, right?
Totally.
Of a specific product. That goes a long ways. And then the last thing is talking about either how your products are made, or your supply chain, or corporate social responsibility initiatives that you guys have. That's a
Absolutely.
mouthful, but those are all
Yeah.
the things that help your customers have warm fuzzies about you and your brand. It's really important to hit those home in this welcome series.
That makes total sense.
Yep.
It's those types of things that make customers want to support you as a company.
Totally. And then people feel really good about that, right?
Yeah,
And then they say,
yeah.
oh my gosh, I bought from this company that does all these awesome things. And then they get to humble brag a little
Totally.
bit. And,
They're like, and now I'm saving the world.
Yeah,
So-
exactly, right. And then I tap
Absolutely.
you on the shoulder, get your
Yeah.
dirt off, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that's super cool. So that's really great for the second email. For the third email, I want to make it really product focused, and that's what we typically recommend. So this is a great time to use our top selling feature in our emails. In Drip, we can send emails that will automatically choose the top selling products, and you can filter that by category too. So if you really want to highlight a certain category, you can absolutely do that in this email.
Really powerful.
Absolutely. And in this third email too, you can start to have certain recommendations of products that might pair well together. So if it's a skincare company, you could say this lotion goes really well with this toner and this face wash or whatever it may be. So it's a great time to have that product focused email.
Yeah, it makes total sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I sneak one more email in here?
You definitely can.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So you mentioned incentives earlier, right? And incentives really could mean a lot of different things. The biggest incentive that people think about is a discount, right?
Yes.
So you can absolutely use a discount in the final email of your welcome series. You just want to be really savvy about that and make sure that you're not offering the moon to new customers, right? Because that might kind of miff your old VIP customers, right? Like, hey, why are they getting 50% off when I've been around forever, right?
And just like a relationship, you want to set your expectations, right?
Absolutely.
You're not always going to be giving 90% discounts.
Yeah, right. Just
why
like
do it in the welcome series?
Yeah, just like on first dates, right? You're not,
right.
you don't want
to be realistic.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Exactly.
You know, I'd take them out for pizza, not caviar, right? Yeah.
Right. That would be ridiculous.
That would be ridiculous. So for that fourth email, figuring out the right incentive for your business is really important. So it might be discounts, might also be free shipping on the first purchase. It might be a discount or free shipping once they hit a certain cart value. It could be some sort of like free add-on. One of our customers does like a free jar of cinnamon when they order for the first time.
Yeah, which is really cool.
That's really cool, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of options there. It does take a little bit of thought on your side for the people at home to really understand your customers and your business and what's really going to be the right incentive in this welcome.
All right, so now I want to walk you through this workflow that I've drawn out.
Okay.
So the first thing here is a trigger, and this is just the behavior that gets people into the workflow. So for this welcome series, it's just that a subscriber was created.
In your Drip account.
Absolutely.
Okay, cool.
Yep. So after we get them into the workflow, we want to do a small delay here. Now, 74% of subscribers expect to get an email after subscribing.
Okay, that makes sense.
So you don't want to wait too long here, but you do want to wait a bit in case they place an order.
Okay.
So right after the delay, we want to have a decision that asks whether they've placed an order. And if they have, we're actually going to have them exit this workflow.
Why is that?
And we're going to send them to another automation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we'll have a little bit of a different kind of welcome series workflow for people who've already made a purchase because they need some different stuff. They are on a different step in their customer journey.
And you might message the things we talked about a little bit differently if they've already placed an order.
Totally.
Okay, makes sense.
So if they have not placed an order by the time they get to this decision, we send them that first email.
Okay, cool.
So we talked about that email that talks about the brand, the unique value proposition, all that good stuff. And then we'll do a bit of a delay.
Okay.
So with the delays in general, we want to kind of do a bit of a balance here. We want to keep people engaged, but we don't want to bombard them with constant emails.
That is a balance, isn't it?
Yeah. So you want to keep them in the loop without overwhelming them. So we'll send that first email, do a bit of a delay, and then email, delay, email.
Okay.
Okay? So after that third email, we're going to ask again if they've placed an order.
Now, why are you asking a decision or making a decision right here?
So if they have placed an order, we're going to have them exit the workflow without receiving the discount email. It's not to say that they'll never receive discounts, but we don't want to send a discount right after they've placed a purchase because that might be kind of
Got it.
a
So,
bummer.
right, because they could have been in one of these delays, made the purchase, but continue to receive these welcomes.
Totally.
But then they might be really miffed if they get a discount down here.
Absolutely.
Okay, yep, that makes sense. Right.
But if they get to this decision, they still have not placed an order, it's a great time to put in that incentive email here. So add in the discount or free shipping or something like that to get them to make their first purchase.
That little nudge.
That little nudge. Yeah.
Right on. Cool, that makes a lot of sense.
Cool.
So should we start building in Drip?
Let's do it.
Cool.
Cool. So I'm gonna grab this. All right, so I'm actually gonna start on one of our shareable workflows.
Cool.
So I installed a workflow and now it's in this account, and I'm going to walk through why it was created this way, just because it's a really strong workflow, and basically it's all there when you install it.
Cool. Awesome.
So the first thing I want to do is show you how we set up this trigger.
Okay.
So I'm going to click on this subscriber created trigger. And you'll see on the left, we've selected drip, and that's because a subscriber gets created within drip. So we want to keep it drip there on that left-hand side drop down. Then on the right-hand side drop down, we want to select performed a custom event. And then when you select that, there'll be a text area here, and you want to type in subscriber created.
Okay.
Now, we do it this way because there's a lot of different ways that subscribers can get created in Drip. They could submit a form, they could have made a purchase and said that they want to accept marketing, or it could be an update through our API. So we want to make sure that we're covering everything, every way that a subscriber can get created.
Makes sense.
Cool. After the trigger, as we mentioned, we want to add a delay. So an hour delay is pretty standard. We want to give them enough time to make a purchase if they're on the website, but want to make sure that we send them something soon enough so that they know we're engaged and they expect it, right? Cool. All right, so after the delay, we have that decision.
Okay.
And we want to see, has that person placed an order? So if you drill into that decision, you'll see that all we're doing is we're looking to see if that person has placed at least one order overall time.
Okay, makes sense.
Yep. So if they have placed an order, we're going to have them exit the workflow.
And again, why are we having them exit?
So we'll have them exit here and we'll have them enter into a different workflow. A workflow that's kind of a welcome series for people who've already made a purchase.
Okay.
We may want to tweak some of the communication
Oh,
there.
that's right. The messaging might be a little bit different.
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
Okay, cool.
So if they've not placed an order, they'll get sent that first email. Welcome to the family. This is that brand email. Get to know your people, let them get to know you, introduce yourself, talk about your unique value proposition, just tell people who you are.
Perfect.
It's the first date.
Okay.
All right, then we'll have that delay waiting about a day. Again, it's a balance of making sure people are engaged, but not bombarding them.
Okay.
Then we'll send the second email here.
Yeah, so email 2 is where you're describing what your products are and what makes them unique. So you could include some sort of social media share or even something that makes your customers or potential customers feel warm and fuzzy about your brand,
Totally.
right? So some like good initiative that you're doing as a company, that's the perfect time to throw that in.
Absolutely, sounds great. So then after that second email, we want a little bit more of a delay here. Again, just don't want to bombard them with a lot of emails. And then we'll send a third email. So this one is what folks love and why you will too.
Okay.
So this kind of, it's a great piggyback to what you were just talking about in the second email. It's talking about products that people really love. You can send your top selling products in this email.
Oh, and the categories like you were talking
Absolutely,
about, right?
yeah.
Okay,
You
cool.
could send products that go well with other products, all that good stuff.
Okay, right
Yeah.
on.
All right, so then after that last delay, we get to another decision, and it's actually the same decision that was earlier in the workflow, and you're asking whether that person has placed an order. Now, the reason we want to do this is because we have that fourth incentive email in this series, and we don't want to send that incentive to people who've just placed an order.
Oh, that's right. That doesn't feel good if you get a discount after you already purchased.
Absolutely.
Right.
So we want to have a decision here whether a person has placed an order. And what's really cool about Drip is we're always connected to your e-commerce provider. So we always know when people place orders and we know how many orders they've placed. So if they have placed an order, they'll exit this workflow and they'll be sent to a different workflow that talks to them more personally for people who've made a purchase already.
Cool.
But if they have not yet placed an order, then we'll send out that incentive email.
Got it.
Mhm.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So you want to talk through this email and just anything special you want to do in it?
Yeah, absolutely. So this one on the screen, you can see that we're actually using something a little bit fancy here. This
Super
is
fancy.
Yeah, this is just some personalization that we threw in here. So we have, hey, subscriber.firstname. So
Mhm.
that's going to actually pull in the first name if you have that first name for
Sure.
somebody. So some nice personalization.
Absolutely.
And if it doesn't, then it's going to say new friend. And we can say new friend because we know that they're new to your list, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. And then we're going to say, here's a little something on us. And then within that email, again, we want to include some sort of incentive to purchase. So it might be a discount. It might also be free shipping. Could be, a product, an extra like little happy that you throw into the package when you ship it, right?
Cool. Right on. So then after that email, people will exit the workflow. And that's end to end our shareable workflow for the Welcome series. It's really straightforward, but it's really effective.
Okay. Right on. Love it. Thanks, Alisa.
Yeah. So one thing I want to talk about is this is one of our shareable workflows that doesn't have a goal in it.
Oh, you mean like the little green goal at the bottom of the workflow?
Yeah, that pulls people down to it.
Right.
Can you talk about why that is?
Yeah, absolutely. So for every workflow that you build in Drip should have a big goal, right?
Yes.
You're trying to accomplish something with
Right.
the workflow. And
Yep.
if you're not trying to accomplish something, then you really should think hard about whether you need it or not, right? But if the goal is trying to get somebody to make a purchase, then having a goal at the bottom of the workflow of order created actually is like a really good strategy because then they'll get pulled down and they won't receive all the marketing that would drive them to that purchase.
Right.
But really like the big goal of this workflow is actually just to educate and build your brand and make sure that somebody really feels welcomed.
Right.
And so that's why we don't have a goal in this one, because we actually want them to receive all of the important information that you're including in this welcome series.
Right.
Right.
That makes total sense.
Right. So if they make a purchase after the first email, we still want them to get emails 2 and 3.
Right.
So cool.
Makes total sense.
Right on.
Yeah. Thanks for going through that.
The next step is to turn this on.
Yep.
Right. And let it start running, right?
Absolutely. So at the top right of your workflow, you can select Start Workflow. And this means that people can start flowing in. As soon as a subscriber is created, they'll get pulled into this workflow and they'll start receiving this awesome content. So what's really great about Drip is we have really powerful visualizations and reporting to show exactly how your workflow is doing, so that if there's something you see that you don't like, you can optimize it or you can keep adding on more. So I'm going to select the dashboard here. And then on this dashboard, I can see revenue that's generated from this workflow. I can see how many people are clicking or opening each of the emails in the series. And you can just really see how effective it is. And you can make optimizations, maybe throw in a split test if you want, just to make sure that the workflow is functioning as best that it can.
Cool, right on. And again, we got to make sure that we give these workflows some time to perform.
Absolutely.
Right, don't make any rash decisions after the first day, right?
Right.
Cool.
That's a great point.
Cool.
So Workflow Dashboard is a great place to really see how you're doing, see how effective the strategy is, and if you're seeing something that you want to enhance, you can do it there and follow your results.
Cool, love it.
Yeah, so I think we're done with this. What do you think? Ready to wrap up?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's bring it home.
Okay, let's do it. Let's talk about strategies that you should have in your welcome series so that you at home can remember to implement them in your welcome series. So, the first thing that you want to remember when you're building out your welcome series is to show off your brand. Tell people about your unique value proposition. Let them get to know you a bit. Tell them why you're cool and why you should really form a long-term relationship.
Why they're so much better than those big box retailers, right?
Absolutely, yes.
Also, focus on your products and let them shine. You want to make sure that you have great product images, that your CTAs are really clear, and that you have emails that have a real purpose, right? And so it's really important that they're well crafted and they look beautiful.
Absolutely. Also remember that incentives matter. Incentives work so well. Discounts are great. Free shipping is great. Just be strategic with it so that your customers don't expect those types of incentives on every single purchase.
So we talked about a series, right? A welcome series. And we believe that, and data shows that it's really important to have a series. You might also say, gosh, I only have time to build one email right now. I just need to get this welcome series live. We're totally okay with that too, right? Get something live, see how it performs, and then continue to add on. And in the end, your goal should be a welcome series that nurtures and educates and gets people excited about your brand.
Absolutely. And remember that we have a page of shareable workflows, and in that page, there's a great welcome series that you can easily install and bring into your account.
Also, if you have any sort of hiccups, you have any questions about how this whole thing works or how to implement it, reach out to our live chat support team. They would be more than happy to walk you through it and make sure that you're successful with this welcome series.
Yeah, right on.
Did we nail it?
I think we did a really good job.
Yeah, so when we nail it, we dance.
All right.